Oh, okay. Title on it though. I'm down here at the beach. Hey, Greg, how are you? Is everything coming through loud and clear? I've got a new camera that I'm using, and I hope it's I hope it's working good. Using a switcher that I bought. Nothing. Is everything good and clear? Give me a thumbs. Okay, everything's good, Ponca. Okay, good. I hope the audio's good, and I hope the video's good. You got it. Okay. All right. So evidently I switched on you or something, did I, Greg? Okay. Have you got a good signal now, Greg? I can't tell. I guess I could get see if I can see anything different. It's not jittery or anything like that, is it? Everything's good. That's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, I got a new Sony camera down here. My camera, I had a dead battery. I didn't realize that. Okay. All right. Well, it's not pixelated or anything, is it, guys? I haven't double checked that. Barbara, what? Would you bring my laptop in here, or I can grab it? Oh, whoops! Just grab my laptop and you need the mouse. No, I don't need the mouse. I'm just gonna double check make sure it's not pixelated and everything. Thank you. That's my wife, Barbara, there. What I'm gonna do is sign on too, make sure that my signal's good and everything. See if I can get on with it. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can get 2 YouTubes on there or not, because it'll go through my channel. I think one time I did this, it messed things up. Ponca said hello, Barbara. I'm in a different room too. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can. I better kill my volume first, because if I don't do that, there we go, I will get a feedback. So I don't know what I'm gonna. Okay, it's pixelated a little bit. It looks like a little bit. I got to watch it down here. Going out is not quite as good as I'd like sometimes on the live. So, and I hadn't got any extensive lighting in here or anything. So it is what it is, I say. Of course, I'm seeing quality is okay. I'm working from the beach, and it's well, I can see right now it's pixelated a little bit here on my side. Now it's good and clear in my monitor here, as clear as a bell. But what I'm getting back through the internet, it looks like it's pixelated a little bit. That's what you work with. I try to get some of the best equipment I possibly can get, but you're only as strong as your weakest link, you might say. And right now, my weakest link is, I guess, my Wi-Fi. Well, Chris, how are you? Did you ever find out a price on those vehicles, Chris? I know it's probably wasn't tops on your priority. Chris showed some vehicles of a friend of his that were really nice, and I was interested in maybe just checking. My wife says I can't afford anything right now, but I'd like to I always kind of like to be informed. I bought that coupe a month or so ago, and I should probably finish one project before I move on to another project. Well, give her a call when you can, Chris. Give her a call. Just just curious, out of the blue, what it's worth. I mean, not that I'm going to be using it, anytime soon. Guys, I hate that this thing's buffering on me on my end. I can see it here. I don't know if it is on your end or not, but it's buffering down here. I'm gonna get off this stream here. You got a friend's estate that's selling at auction today at noon. So I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, I like going to those sales, but I get in trouble going to those sales. I can tell you that. I went to the sale about a month or so ago, and I spent way too much money. I actually did okay because some of the equipment that I was selling and a few other things. I sold some stuff and I actually got paid to move some stuff because they had some heavy equipment there that needed moving. So I actually did very well with that. Is the video looking okay on y'all's end, Guy? Because I can't tell by this one. I'm trying to use this new camera. It looks really great through my system, but I think my Wi-Fi might be just a little bit weak down here. Well, great. Okay. I'm trying to produce the best video that I possibly can. And sometimes you can do it and sometimes you can't. And you never know until you get to look at the finished product on this live stream. Man, I hate that, Chris. But, hopefully he trusts you to help him out or help his estate out. Maybe the estate will do the good, or you'll come out to the good, whichever way whatever the situation is. You never know on stuff like that. How old of a gentleman was he? Of course, at my age, I'm usually older than most of them that are passing away. That's a scary thing. Right now, I'm at the age, I look at the obituaries and I go, oh my goodness, that's somebody that was a freshman when I graduated high school, or maybe that person was, wasn't even in high school, when I graduated. I don't know. I've seen some of those obituaries and it really spooks me because I go, yes, I'm getting old, but I'm thankful that I'm getting old. I'm thankful for every day. 52, Lord have mercy. Yeah. Here's something scary. I have children almost that age. My daughter is 49 or 48. How old is Dana? 48, 49?
48.
48. I had to think. My daughter's 48. 48. I had to get clarification from the person that gave birth to her. Yeah, my daughter is 48. So that, that really scares me right there. I mean, that, someone is passing away that young. Yeah, that's right. I have to ask the boss all the things like that. My boss lady I have to ask her how much money I have in a checking account. Usually she has more in the checking account than I do. She won't tell me how much I've got in any kind of checking account. She's afraid I'll spend it. Right, hon? Right. So I let her control the finances and everything. She's very strict on the books. She keeps me in line somewhat. She tells me not to put too much on my credit card. Yeah, I understand, Chris. Yeah, that you can get them like that in mixed bags. I've got 3 brothers myself, and all 4 of us are different. There's not 2 of us exactly alike. That's for sure. Yeah. At least she gives me a credit card. then she'll leave it up to the credit card company to tell me how much I got. Oh, you're the youngest of four boys. Okay. Well, I'm number three. Excuse me. I'm number three of four. I have two brothers older and one brother younger. And my youngest brother actually works for me. He works for me, and his son works for me. His son works in my Napa store, and my brother works for me as a driver. He's my spare driver that I've got, so I can use him to do a lot of different things for me. Yeah, yeah. Fortunately for us boys, my mother and dad did pretty good for us. They actually, after my dad passed, my dad told my mother to go ahead and split up everything. And no, I'm the third. I'm one of the youngest. I'm three out of four. No, I'm number three. I'm the child that I'm too old to be the baby of the family, and I'm too young to be the old. Get the benefits of the oldest. I'm the middle child, I guess you might say. I got the middle child syndromes. That happens sometimes. You get. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, you never know when your time's up. That's for sure. It's a sad thing. We're having a class reunion. My high school class reunion, my 50th class reunion is going to be at my house on the 21st of September. And we have gone through the list of how many we've lost out of our class, and it's a tremendous amount of people that we have lost out of our class. So it's something. Yeah. Yeah. We had, we had, I'm trying to think, the first classmate we lost, I think, was from a car wreck. Well, it was right after we had our fifth reunion. So it was around 73, 74. I think we had our fifth class reunion. And then when we had that reunion about a week later, we had one of our classmates got killed. Actually, two of them were in the wreck. Two of the classmates were in the wreck, but one of them got killed and one of them got injured. Yeah. Well, we, like I said, you never know. You never know when you're going to get, when your time's up, that's for sure. And you just got to live it to the fullest. That's what I try to do. I try to have a good time. I mean, we are enjoying our place here at the beach. My wife and I are able to come down here. We came down last weekend for a couple of days, and we came down again Thursday this week because we had a meeting down here. So, we try to enjoy our trucking business and enjoy. Well, as far as trucking, we're down here this week because of the trucking, and yeah, it's real handy getting dinner. We got two places. I got the place right at the corner down here that we get our pizza. We have a restaurant that's right up within the complex here, and then right up the street. I mean, I could have literally walked, but we've been having thunderstorms, so I didn't want to walk. So I just drove up there, and it's literally just. I didn't get into third gear hardly before it was time to turn in. So yeah, we got a Carrabba's Italian that's up there. So we've eaten there, and then we have another. We eating places is no problem in Hilton Head. Hilton Head in Bluffton, which is the adjacent town across the I don't know if it's called intercoastal. Well, it's really I guess the intercoastal that goes around that makes it an island. They got a big bridge, and right as you get across the bridge into Bluffton, which is the next town, I mean, basically you just go from one area to the other. You don't really even know you're out of the area almost. Bluffton has a lot of good restaurants too, and shopping centers and everything else. So every time we go to shop, I basically go to Bluffton because it's about 10 miles away from here at the condo, but it's really, really good places to eat and go shop. So you're getting everything wired up, are you, Chris? It's looking good, looking good. Yeah, I called Chris the other day. He and I converse on the phone every once in a while, and I called Chris, and him and Ricky were working away pretty good. So I didn't want to bother him too long and everything. Of course, guys, now you see my bicycles back here, I guess. See my Hilton Head bicycles. My wife and I, we get out here and we pedal a little bit. There's a lot of good bicycle trails down here. So that's good for me exercise wise. And as you can tell, I need a little bit of exercise. I'm lacking in burning off enough calories right now. My wife and I were just talking. I said, I got my class reunion coming up. I need to look as thin as I possibly can. So I need to go on a starvation diet. Is what I need to do. Well, these are 6 speeds, I think, 6 speeds. These were some that I had. I used to have a fifth wheel camper, and those are some bikes that I had. They actually fold up. They will actually fold up, and they're small. And, we bring the seats up where it's comfortable for us, and are these 10 speeds, Barbara? What are these? 6 speeds?
I don't know what they are.
I don't know either. Come, Barbara, come here. I made a mess. I flipped one of them over.
I don't know what.
6 speeds. I saw it when I flipped that over. Sorry, guys. Action. I'm doing action TV here. Yeah, there's 6 speeds after all that commotion and everything. There's 6-speed bikes. And I don't know, did the camera stay steady during all that mess? I don't know if it did or not. I'm curious as how good the signal is going to stay. Last week when I was down here, it would pixelate if I moved too much. I don't know how it's doing right now. It's all good. Okay, good. Oh, I know. I've got the bigger seats, if you'll notice on that. Yeah, I about flipped over my bikes back behind me is what I was trying to tell Chris what speed they were, and I grabbed one and pulled it over, and when I did, I pulled both of them over. I had a chain reaction. But, let me move up here a little bit. Well, Barbara, now you're coming in and out of the picture a little bit. Uh-oh. Barbara's in the background. She's cleaning up. We're getting ready to leave to go back to Cherryville. So she's cleaning up, and and that's, you'll see her walk in and out in the background. And she had to rush in here and help me with the bikes a minute ago too. But she doesn't like to be on camera. That's the other thing. So her thing is not to be on camera. But it is what it is. My wife's camera shy. Even though she's a lot better looking than I am, she's a better view on the camera than I am. So that's the way it goes. Yeah. Well, yeah, she's a good cleanup girl, Chris. Yes, yeah. But I've already taken her. So she's not available. She's not available. That's the thing about it. We've been. I've had people say, I've had people tell me, said, "Oh yeah, I've been happily married 20 years," and I said, "Oh yeah, I've been happily married 40 years," and they said, "Really, 40 years?" I said, "Well, I've actually been married 50, but at least 40 of them have been happy." I get hit a lot for saying that, but oh man, yeah, yeah. I think by the time I spoke for her, Chris, you were not even a thought in your mom and dad's, not even a thought in their eye. Considering my children are 48 and 46. Yeah, Barb and I, we got married in 1970. So next year we're coming up on our 50th wedding anniversary. Yeah, she'll slap me in the back of the head for sure. Yeah, I got married. I was 19 years old. You'll be 30 next month. Yeah. Yeah. And I've been married almost 50 years now. Yeah. But I've been married to a good one. I can't complain at all.
But you do.
But I do. Yeah. You might have heard her say I don't complain too much now, do I, Barb? You were in the 7th grade when I got married. Were you comfortable, man? Yeah, that shows you how time flies. Because when I visualize, and think in my mind, I don't feel like I feel like I'm probably 40, but in reality, I'm 68. But I don't feel any older in my mind. I feel like I can still do things that a 40-year-old could do. Yeah, that's what you got to do, Chris. It's I hope everybody does make it that long like that. It has gone with a snap of the finger. I can't believe that I've been out of high school almost 50 years. Well, I have been out 50 years. This past May, I graduated 50 years ago this past May. So I've been out of high school 50 years. And there's so many things that have gone on since I graduated high school. It's pathetic. When you think about it, the year that I graduated high school, that was the year that the man landed on the moon. That was the year of the mass murders of Charles Manson in California. That was the Sharon Tate murders. That actually happened just a few weeks ago in relation to that. Woodstock, the music festival. That was the big rage back then. I always wanted to go. I used to think that was a great thing. I would have loved to have gone to Woodstock when I was 18 years old. Of course, I had a good father that let me know right quick there's no way in the world. Even though I was 18, I was still living at his house, and I was under his rule. Yeah, we had a big music festival like Woodstock just up the road from us at what's called Love Valley, and they had some of the great big groups, almost Grateful Dead, a whole bunch of different ones that were at Woodstock, and different. I'm trying to think who else was up there, but I remember Allman Brothers were there. But that was another outdoor festival. It wasn't quite as big as Woodstock. I think they had about 100,000 people, but it wasn't 300,000 people. It was a huge outdoor concert though, and on out of Statesville, North Carolina. But I didn't make it to that one either, even though that was close. My dad had kind of come down, let me know that, I was not going to get involved with things like that. And I'm glad he did. It's, there were a lot of, of course, a young kid, he's thinking, oh man, free sex, drugs. I wasn't into drugs. And I never have been, drugs or drinking. but I've always liked pretty women. So, excuse me, you didn't hear that, Bart. But I got one, so I didn't have to worry about that. So I got a great wife, and but any teenager with a lot of hormones and likes music and everything else. But but the one factor I guess that never did go over with me was it really wasn't my style of music. Not all of it. I like some of it. I like CCR, Creedence. I thought was a great band, and Santana was not even known. Santana, if you look at the history of Woodstock, Santana was an up and coming band. Nobody had even heard of them really, but they were great. They were great. And then you had even Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young was just Crosby, Stills and Nash then. At Woodstock, they were just getting started. I mean, they were known acts. Of course, David Crosby used to be with the Byrds, and Stephen Stills used to be with Buffalo Springfield. And of course, Graham Nash was with the Hollies. And so all three of those guys were, good and everything. So that's a little bit about, I'm getting back into my music history now. Guys, you have to listen to my radio show about that, because I'm actually doing something about the year 1969. I'm going to kind of tell some of the same history that I spoke of there on my radio show this week on Tuesday, live on ktcbroadcasting.com. For the guys that don't get that, I'm going to type that in. Let me see if I can type in here. Let me get my mouse down here right. I'm going to put KTC Broadcasting. Whoops. I'll spell that right. Yeah, now Janis Joplin was at Woodstock also. Yeah. Yeah, Janis Joplin was at Woodstock. I'm trying to think. The big names that were there, of course, were CCR, and I looked at the rundown of who was paid what. Jimi Hendrix was paid $18,000. He was the highest paid who was there, and they were a good group. I like Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Always liked them, and they were a hot group in 1969, and they got 15,000. Yeah, well, yeah, I would have liked to have heard some of those groups live. Now, here's the thing about it. Over the years, though, I've got to actually hear different parts of that. Like I was talking about Santana. Well, the keyboard player and lead singer of Santana back then was Greg Rowley, who actually started Journey. If you remember when Journey started up, Greg Rowley was one of the initial guys for Journey. But so yeah, that was a thing back then. Was those groups, and then another person that I got to see later on was Leon Russell, who played with Joe Cocker back then. He was playing lead guitar and keyboard for Joe Cocker, and Joe Cocker was at Woodstock also. So I've got to see some of those. Yeah, the smell had to be terrible. The smell had to be terrible with 300,000 people and no porta-johns. I mean, they were just, it had to, people were going where they had to go. Yeah. Yeah. I like Joe Cocker. Yeah. And I got Leon Russell. I got to see him about 6 months actually before he died. Leon Russell was a fantastic piano player. They talk about Leon Russell. He could do octaves at a time, or more than an octave on his keyboard reach, which is tough if you're a keyboard player. And Leon Russell had a real good sound to him anyway, and wrote a lot of songs and was a session musician for, if you go back and look at the history of it, Leon Russell was a session musician for the wrecking crew, who did tons of. Joe Cocker passed away in 2014, and Leon Russell passed away about a little over a year ago. Most of the people in that are gone. And if you look at the ones in Woodstock, there's a lot of artists that played at Woodstock that are passed on too. So I mean, it's been 50 years, so you can imagine the attrition. Most of these guys that played at Woodstock are in their 70s now, if they're still around. It's a defining thing. Well, guys, my battery is getting low on my new camera, so I am going to have to call it quits on that and get geared up to do it differently next time. I hope this has been okay this time, but I'm gonna call it quits now and get on about the way. And I got to get on back up to Cherryville too today, so I'm gonna pack up my wares and take them into Cherryville. So y'all guys take care. I'll talk to you later. See you next Sunday. Thank you.